Is that one of the legacies that you want to leave, that you were able to make your way through all these different injuries and still play at this kind of level?
Yeah, I'm making history right now. Like, every time I touch the court, it's history. That's how I feel about it. Like, and I feel like my fans and the people that watch, they can relate in some way. I mean, the people that really care about me. You have people that talk here and there, but they're the ones that's following my story and the ones that's writing about my story. So who cares what they say? They just gotta keep watching and keep writing.
My man. And so you heard the word thrown around, legacy. So when you think about legacy, what it really boils down to is, what did people think of you? And so while we shouldn't really care about what others think about us, we absolutely should be aware of the kind of life that we lead. Because again, there are people that are watching us, and I'm not talking about those people who are watching to comment and to give their opinion of us. I'm talking about those people over whom we have great influence, power, and authority, in whose lives we can impact either negatively or positively. And so we all have power and influence, and by virtue of that, we all have a responsibility to live in the most upright, righteous way that we can. And so when you have a magnified or expanded realm of power and influence that both magnifies and expands the power and responsibility that you have. And so he's very aware of that, and it's just my prayer that we all understand that no matter what the scope of our power is, even if it's just over one or two people, that's still something that we should not take lightly or for granted, and that we should seek to live daily as if we're living for something bigger than ourselves, because in fact we are. And again, I know that I'm living for God. I was made for His glory, and so that's how I move. That's how I think. That's how I speak. Am I perfect? Of course not. Do I mess up? Sure I do. But at the very heart, at the very foundation of who I am, lies a desire to please and serve God at all costs. For Him I live, for Him I die. Literally, figuratively, in every other way that it can be understood.
In the midst of all of this, as you know, in a couple weeks, there's the appeal for the case.
Yeah.
How do you balance all the happiness that you're having on the floor right now compared to everything that you're dealing with off of it?
It's all about just having a team. I have a team. I don't have to appear in court. I have a team set up where my best friends are going on my behalf, and I'm able to focus on the season, so I don't have to worry about that. I wish her nothing but the best. I hope that she's happy. But other than that, I'm focusing on basketball and where I'm at. I'm being mindful of where I'm at right now in my career.
For as long as I've known you, you've always said you don't need validation from anybody.
No.
Does it bother you at all that there are people out there who will never be able to cheer for you again because of what came out in the case?
Yeah, but to each his own. That's how I feel about it. Everybody's not going to like me. Everybody's not going to love the way I play. Everybody's not going to like every decision that I make. And I know that through life, period, where I'm old, I'm 30, and I'm not the emotional kid anymore. Like, I'm a grown-ass man.
All right, so here, 2 points. First point is having a circle of friends, a tight circle of friends that you can trust, that you know are loyal to you just as much as you are loyal to them. And I'm not saying that because it's supposed to be tit for tat, but what I'm saying is that you want someone who sincerely has your best interest in mind. Because what you'll find is that if you are a loyal person, if you're not careful, if you're not guarded, if you don't have discernment, then people will latch on to that and mistake that for weakness and will take advantage of you. And so it's very important to have people in our life that we know are looking out for our best interests. People that we can trust to go to court on our behalf and handle business and represent us the right way. And so kudos to him for having that circle and for keeping it tight. And I know that is the case because I've watched other footage, other documentaries, and so I know that the circle is tight. And what I'll say to any athletes out there, or anybody who aspires to be in the world of entertainment or to have a certain level of wealth and success and prestige, I would advise that you get a team around you of people that you can trust and build from a very early age. And what do I mean? I mean, take a look back at what it means or what it takes to be successful in this life. An understanding of economics, business, finance, marketing, branding, having security, having a personal assistant, having a good PR person. So what do I mean? Having a team of people that can take each of those disciplines and master them so that you don't have to step outside of your circle of loyal friends in order to take your career to the next level. Now, of course, you might need to partner or get mentors or network in that world, but you'll have your feet already planted and you will be less susceptible to deception or mismanagement or anything that would be detrimental to your career. So again, it's very important to have a tight circle of friends. It's very important that you monitor the people that you hang around, that you associate with, because the term guilty by association is real. It's a term, it's a phrase for a reason. Many people have lost their freedom or their life just by the associations they keep. And then he also made reference to the woman, the plaintiff in the court case. It's a rape case, by the way. We won't, get too deep into it. It's not important. What's important here is to note that he harbors no ill feelings. Now, I'm sure there may have been a point, even if it was a short, small point, where he did harbor ill feelings or he didn't necessarily think the highest or the best of that individual, but he's at a place now where he's peaceful and peace-filled. And it's important for us to not harbor or not hold on to any resentment, because that energy only negatively impacts us. Because for the most part, other people don't care about how we feel. Now, in their own selfishness and narcissism, they'll get defensive about a comment we might make towards them. But at the heart of it, if we feel resentment towards them, they don't care. If anything, that fuels the anger or vitriol they have towards us. And so what you have is a back and forth, a tennis match, if you will, of negative energy that never gets expelled, and that does reflect negatively on you, not only as far as your persona, but your spirit also.
In the midst of everything else that's going on, there's been a lot of changes with the Timberwolves.
Yes.
And with Jimmy and the demands that he's made.
Yes.
As a member of the team, what's it been like for you guys dealing with trying to play games while there's all this other stuff going on?
With everything that I've been in my career, on the court, off the court, I kind of stay out of it, bro. Like, if I'm not a part of it, I'm staying out the way. Like, that's how I feel about it. When Jimmy's around, we treat him as if he's a part of the team, nothing less. And we, of course, everybody knows that we want him on the team. So he feels the love. It's just that he has to make the decision on his own. And I think everybody that's on the team respect that.
All right, so what's important, imperative, critical for us to understand as we navigate life is that people are going to dislike you no matter what. And so it does us no good to kowtow or to acquiesce or to please people as our primary goal. What we should do rather is to live a life that pleases our spirit. And for me, of course, that means pleasing God, serving God, living for His glory. But you got to figure that out for yourself. What you need to understand is that no matter what your spirituality is, you have a responsibility to yourself just by the very virtue of your nature, that being of survival, that you should not care what other people think. What you should do is focus on living a righteous life, one that does not infringe upon the rights of others, and one that does not do damage or harm to your own self. And so in doing that, you're going to offend somebody. We shouldn't be afraid to be offensive if we're living a righteous life. Like, I know that my views offend a large sect of people. Not only my religious views, but my views on society, on the world, and how I observe people, behavior, agenda, propaganda. There are going to be people that do not agree with me. As you saw in my disclaimer, I really don't care. I'm cool with discourse and debate. That's fine. Correction also, if necessary, is fine. But what I don't care about is the opinion of anybody. I'm here to impart wisdom and knowledge. I love all of you very much, and that's why I created this platform. But I don't care what you think. I only care that you're impacted by the words, because they're not from me. They're from God through me. And if you're impacted by them positively, your life will change for the better. That's what I care about.
You've known him a long, long time since he's come in the league. Do you think there's a chance that he would stay long term here in Minneapolis?
I mean, who knows, man? I want him to stay. I know that my teammates want him to stay. The team want him to stay, but he's a grown man. He has to make the best decision, not only for himself, but for his family and his career. So, like I said, with me being in my position and everything that I went through, I wish him nothing but the best, and I think that he could feel that too.
So you can see Derrick Rose is very, again, matter of fact. He understands the business of basketball. He understands the way this game operates. And so there's no love lost between he and Jimmy Butler. And as we know by now, Jimmy Butler is no longer a member of that team. He's now on the Philadelphia 76ers. And so because Derrick Rose was able to manage his emotions and look at the situation very logically, then he's not negatively impacted by the loss of Jimmy Butler. He's not wallowing in the fact that he's no longer there. And as you can see, if you follow basketball, the Minnesota Timberwolves are doing well in his absence. Now, I know at one point they were 3-0. I'm not really sure what their record is now at this point post Jimmy Butler. But the point is this: they didn't miss a beat. And if anything, they're playing better because they don't have that negative energy that was brought on by the situation. Because regardless of the love that Derrick Rose or the team had for Jimmy Butler, he was still being a cancer to the organization. And so it was because of that they had this shadow or this cloud that was over top of them that was hindering them. And so now they can move forward and continue to be about their business. And I can see Derrick Rose being an integral part in leading the troops. No matter what his role is on the court, we know his role is large off the court.
As far as the 50-point game goes,
Yes.
why do you think what you did resonated with so many guys throughout the league?
Everybody go through adversity in their life, and at some point, especially some point in their career, and it's all about how you take on that adversity. And I feel like I'm mentally tough, and I know that I work on my craft, and I know it's part of everyone else's life or everybody in this world, basketball world, or in the media to write stories. Like, all this is out of my control. Like, it kills me when people try to predict my career when they can't even predict the weather. So how the you gonna tell me what my career is gonna be when you can't tell me if it's gonna snow or rain tomorrow? Makes no sense to me.
Perspective, perspective, perspective. That's really all that needs to be said. He gets it. He gets it. He understands, again, the nature of life outside of basketball. A man has to do what's best for himself and his family. And he can't get caught up in this false sense of loyalty that is the narrative du jour in the media. Even back before free agency and players had limited options about moving from team to team, I still think loyalty was it was spewed as propaganda. Now, of course, you want camaraderie on a team. Of course, you want brotherhood. You want to know that you can trust the man to your left, to your right, that you will pass the ball to, that you will go to war with, rebound for, push the ball up forward, take hard physical contact, take a beating over the course of an 82-game season and playoffs. So you want to have that sense of comfort from your teammates, of course. But there should not be any sense of loyalty to the organization, because that's what it really boils down to. It's not a matter of being loyal to the team. That goes without saying. Anybody who has an understanding of team sport or team of any scope in any discipline, you'll know that in order for prosperity to take place, the team has to be on one accord. But what we're talking about is the economics of it. And by it, I mean basketball. And so Derrick Rose understands that the issues that Jimmy has is not with the team. It's with the organization. It's with the owner, who really doesn't care about Jimmy Butler as a person. He only cares about Jimmy Butler as an NBA basketball asset and what he can bring to the city of Minnesota and the organization of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And so again, he has a perspective that is one that is seasoned with wisdom, peppered with insight, and that is my prayer for all of us, to always understand the environment that you find yourself in, and to always maximize on your potential and your profitability, fiscal and otherwise, in that environment. It's important to set goals. Now, of course, we speak about being selfless, and that's definitely a virtue. But again, our nature is, of course, going to be selfish because it's a matter of survival. Biologically speaking, our flesh wants to survive from day to day, from hour to hour, from minute to minute, from second to second. So, of course, our core is to be selfish. So his first goal was selfish, but I don't think he made that goal selfishly, at the detriment of anybody else or anything else. I think it's a goal because he knows he can achieve it based on the freedom he's been given in the offense, the confidence that he has from his coach and his teammates, and the fact that the organization is behind him. And so this is a great goal to have. And I don't want us to get in the habit of thinking too low or aiming too low, setting the bar too low. Now, again, we spoke about being realistic in our original coverage, so we need to always keep that in mind. But again, you marry the audacious with the realistic, and it's no telling where you can go.
As you go through the rest of this season, I was talking to Kevin Durant, and he said that one of the things he hopes is that this is a new beginning for you.
Yes.
What are your expectations for yourself moving forward now?
Like I said, just to win Sixth Man of the Year and to help the young guys mature, grow, and see how far this team will go.
And so again, man, not trying to belabor a point, but again, if you listen to the brother, you can take away a lot from him in the way of insight, and you can see that he has a firm grasp on life. And again, that's all that I wanted to convey with this video, with this commentary, is that it behooves us to have a grasp on life that allows us to see it both microcosmically and macrocosmically. Meaning what? Meaning on a small scale and a larger scale. Small picture, big picture. Daily, week down the road, month down the road, quarter down the road, year down the road, 2 to 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. All of these things have to be projections that we are able to make based on our observance of who we are and where we are. And so when you think about the story of Derrick Rose, the roller coaster ride that has been his life, not just career, but his life, you should be able to take great enjoyment in seeing how he has ended up. Now, of course, the story's not over. If I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet against him. I know that it's only going to get better. And I know that if he continues in this trajectory, which I'm sure that he will, then the possibilities really are limitless on what he can do for a basketball organization. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. And as we draw this thing to a close, of course, as always, I thank you for your support. Thank you for the love. Nothing goes unnoticed. And I want you to know that I do this for you. Of course, I get something from it as well, because I get to share and grow and all of those things, but I do it for you. I'm being obedient to God and walking in His purpose, and I pray that what I say resonates with you.
Touch on it, and we'll end on this one. As far as your basketball legacy goes,
Yeah.
what would you like it to be?
Just simple that I was a dog.
All right, beloved. And so you said he just wants to be known as a dog. And so if you think about the nature of a dog and the resolve of a dog and the simplicity of a dog and really the heart of a dog, it's the reason why he's called man's best friend. Dog is loyal. A dog is a protector. A dog can be a guide. A dog can sense danger. A dog is obedient. A dog can assume and can adapt and assimilate into any given situation with the proper training. But see, all of these things, I think, encapsulate Derrick Rose in the sense that he has a level of comfort and maturity in himself, that he knows how to be trained, be obedient, to protect, to show grit, to show perseverance, to be observant and aware. All of these things encapsulate Derrick Rose. And I think he has the proper ratio of all those things. And so again, man, double salute him. And much more importantly, I double salute all of you out there who are living the same way. And if you're not living that way, I encourage you to do so. And before you can do so, of course, you need to know and believe that you are capable of doing so. And I'm here to tell you that you are. As long as you have life, then you have the capability. You have the opportunity. So what you have to do is marry that opportunity to that capability and to live in your purpose and to walk in your purpose. And if you don't know what your purpose is, I strongly suggest that you run to your Father. And I don't mean your physical father, I mean your spiritual father, and ask him to reveal to you what his purpose for your life is, and he will tell you 10 times out of 10. But you have to be patient, and you have to be willing to persevere through any season that might come your way, because anything that we go through is for us, it's for our benefit. Now, we may not understand it at the time, but certainly know that whatever trial and storm and tribulation and stress and tragedy and pain and anguish and angst that we go through, it's for us to come out on the other side much more mature, much more resolved, much more resolute, much more judicious and prudent and wise and discerning. All of those things. And so as we leave out, once again, man, nothing but love. Until next time, be blessed and be a blessing.
I'm good, health is wealth. Yeah, believe in yourself. Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Believe in yourself. Yeah. Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Believe in yourself.
That's a wrap. Don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, and comment. Also check us out on IG, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, and Patreon, all under LUSU Media Group. And as always, you can get in-depth content on Patreon once you subscribe. Also check out our LUSU Designs lifestyle apparel, which you can now purchase online. See the description for the links. And last but certainly not least, shout out all my sponsors for their support. Definitely appreciate the love on their end. Their info is also below in the description. Alright family, until next time, be blessed and be a blessing.